was the last time you played some FIFA?
Would have been with my son actually, probably back in about May or June, I would say.
Oh, really? And how did you get into football?
So I had my first season in England back in 2009, and as you know, you pretty much got to get involved with some team. All the banter that was going around the club was football related, so I had to try and find a team to choose, and I didn't want to sort of glory support and go with the likes
Go
of
with Man
United.
U.
Yeah. And yeah, one of the few channels I had on my TV was Sky Sports News, so whenever I was home I'd be watching that, and frequently it seemed to be pretty much every day there was Harry Redknapp with his
arm out the window.
His arm out the Range Rover window. So yeah, Spurs it was.
Spurs it was. And you've just come from pre-season training. How's the pre-season been going?
Yeah, it's good. I guess there's only so much you can achieve with the indoor surfaces we have. It's quite, I guess it's quite different to being outdoors, especially being on grass. So I've just tried to work on a few
Turn
things.
your trainer off there, so press X and then go to head. So happy enough with the controls, yeah.
Yeah, it should be sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few technical things I've been trying to work on.
The stuff you didn't feel went right last season.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, so.
Like for example, what did you feel didn't go? Because you had such a good season last year. What did you feel that didn't go to plan?
Well, I found because I've got a pre-delivery movement, so I found just
goal. Sorry, continue.
I found with that my weight was quite neutral, so I wasn't really getting forward and committing any weight forward when I was moving forward and when the ball was full. So I didn't. Well, typically I'd be a front foot player, but yeah, that certainly wasn't the case last season. If anything, I scored all my runs off the back foot. Oh, yeah. Harry rose like a salmon. So that certainly needed some attention. So I've just been working on a few things there, technically as well. Good feeling. Technically as well, a couple of things on the front foot which I've been working with the likes of Jonty and Jonesy with, which has been helpful.
Yeah.
Hopefully means that whenever a bowler goes full this year, I'll be able to punish them rather than last year where I was just not getting any weight into my shots and therefore not getting much power in there and not executing and sort of making the most of whenever the bowlers went full. So hopefully that makes a big difference, because if you execute on the front foot, then it means that any back foot opportunities you get can be maximised as well, and then the bowler just thinks it's difficult to bowl then. So that's the plan really, mate. As I said, just working hard on that, but it'll be a big change going from the fast sort of skiddy indoor surface to playing outdoors. So there's potential for some outdoor training at the start of April, which would be really good. And then building into a couple of games we've got in La Manga towards the end of April there. So fingers crossed to keep the selectors happy and can be there and thereabouts for selection for that first game. Yes, Hugo. Give ourselves a chance to win a couple of games over there. Would be great.
And when you look back on last season, obviously it was your first one back in Northern Ireland on a full-time basis. You played 4 or 5 games towards the end of the previous season, but did you feel last season went better than you expected, or was that sort of the success you expected yourself?
I guess it probably did go a little bit better than expected. Certainly.
Like, do you set yourself a 1,000 target, for example?
Yeah, that would always be the target for sure. And then I probably wasn't expecting to start as well as I did. and so that meant sort of readjusting that goal to 1200. Classy. So yeah, and I was a little bit disappointed I wasn't able to get there, and you know, Denny was setting a cracking pace. It was tough to keep up with him. So that's great having a bloke like that, having the season he does. It just pushes you to not get complacent with your own performances and keep pushing for more and more. So as I said, that's always good. I was happy with, you know, when I got in, I made some match-winning scores, but I wasn't happy with how often I got in. You know, I think this season in particular. I'd like to give myself. Well, I'd like to have a higher conversion rate of, you know, 15 to 20s into 50 plus scores, and if I can be somewhere around the 150 every 3 innings mark, then I think that's a pretty good indication of, you know, you're giving yourself a chance of playing those long match-winning innings.
Yeah. And we look back at last season as well, it seems that 1-3-1 at Brady really turned your season into what I think gave you the confidence you needed to really, you know, go on and thrive for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, interesting you say that, because I've always found that it can often be the smaller innings that make a difference. So I had a couple of innings before that actually. So I got, I think it was 35 not out chasing in a T20 against Armagh, and I played Shadley pretty well. He was a decent bowler actually, swung the ball nicely. Played him really well, got a couple of on drives away, which I didn't do a lot of last season. Felt like my body was moving really well into the ball, transferring the weight nicely, and then he dropped short and I pulled him for 4 as well. So you know, when you know you're able to play instinctively, reactively to a decent bowler, and you're able to, I think I hit him for 4 fours and an over, which I don't do a hell of a lot to be fair, so that was just a good sign that I think things were heading in the right direction. And then I followed that up with a 40 not out against Inst in a T20, and once again, you know, felt my movements were good, my mind was clear, seeing the ball well. That's terrible.
I was going to just brush past it, but
so yeah, and I think that just really set it up, and then by the time I got to Breedy, I was just in a good rhythm and a bit of a groove, and classy again. Just for the viewers, I did actually lose 3-2 last game, so it was a little bit
in our practice game it was a lot better.
So yeah, I mean, things are sort of set up, and then I got lucky on it was a nice wicket. It was a little bit slow, so playing Breedy like Craig Young wasn't as effective as maybe he would have been on a quicker one.
Yeah.
Which helped, and I just made sure that, you know, I really want to make sure every time I get in that I'm making the most of it. So once I got in, it was good to get on and make a big score, and had a good partnership with Arnie there. It was fun to bat with him.
Yeah.
The best thing was obviously we got the win. So first Irish Cup win, I think.
Of your career?
It was, yeah. I played in a few. I think maybe might have only been one for Civil back in 2011, and we actually had a bowl out against Bonds Glen and we lost. So
a bowl out in the Irish Cup game, that's not fun.
Yeah, exactly. So good to chalk one up for sure.
I suppose having cricket as a focus helps you settle into other parts of life too.
There's no doubt about that, mate. Yeah, you have that instant sense of community. So yeah, I mean, it was great catching up with the guys again that I hadn't seen in a few years.
Yeah.
There's still a few guys hanging around the club that were there when I last played, so absolutely that helps you settle in for sure. That's a bit of a hiding. I certainly hope that's not an indication of what's going to happen in a couple of weeks' time in the Champions League.
We'll have another game.
Sounds good. Maybe you can be Palace this time.
We'll do that one.
Match.
Yeah, we can do that. I'll be Palace then, see if Clifford's having maybe some magic.
And this would be it. We need our white.
Lucky white. then how about making your first class debut?
Yeah, that was really cool. I guess it was a shame my performance wasn't much better, and I don't have more fond memories from a performance perspective. But I think as I've written about, just taught me a hell of a lot.
Pickaxe.
I'd worked.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd worked pretty hard over the years to get that opportunity, and really lucky to have had that opportunity. I absolutely thought my time had passed, especially in New Zealand, to play first class cricket. So yeah, it was a whole heap of fun getting out there with the guys, and it was quite a good game actually in the end. John Anderson played a great innings.
Yeah, good player.
So yeah, it was. Damn, that wasn't a great shot. So yeah, as I said, just learned a heck of a lot. Had a lot of doubt after the first 2 innings. You're playing against a guy in Tyrone Kane who just played a test match.
Yeah.
He had really good rhythm. We're playing with a Duke ball. It's swinging beautifully. He's controlling it really well, and you're under pressure. So, well, that was my chance. So yeah, I took a heck of a lot from that, and had to change a lot of things really that I did. I realised that I'd have to change my style of playing in the league to try and give myself a chance of preparing for that again, because with the being a full-time worker and not having say 10 plus hours a week to devote to training made it tricky. So just decided to change the way I was playing in the league, and unfortunately my results in the league weren't actually that great. I got more of my runs in the white ball stuff. But yeah, it paid off in the end. I was able to work out my leaving lines again, which I hadn't worked on in a number of years. Just sort of identifying the difference between a ball on off stump versus one on fourth stump.
Yeah.
Being able to leave that. Which was crucial because you make the bowlers bowl at you in 3-day cricket, and the game changes. And for me, my strength last year was playing off the back foot, and when you leave well off the front foot, the bowlers want to try and push you back. And then it wasn't until that third game I played at Breedy where I was able to capitalise on any opportunities I got on the back foot, and so
that's horrendous.
Good effort. So as I said, it took me a few games to get used to the standard, but certainly keen to take those learnings into this season, and hopefully, I was disappointed to get starts last season, and I got 2 60s when really you get 60 in that format in the game, you should go on. So that'll be a big one, notching up my first class 100.
Do you feel the pitches were really good last year? It seemed like from an outside perspective, going to watch the matches, that the pitches were excellent to bat on.
Certainly, although I didn't show that in my games at Cumber, there were a couple of great wickets there. So
that's the best batting place in the country, everyone says.
Absolutely. So he does a great job there, old Mr. Moreland. So they were great. And then Breedy was an interesting one. It seemed a little bit was tricky, but you'd expect to be challenged with the ball seaming around in this part of the world. So no dramas there. And then the final game of the season at Pembroke, it was a really flat one. So if anything, maybe too flat. But they had limited preparation time to get that wicket ready. Yeah. And they did bloody well to get what they did in the end, because the game was meant to be at Malahide, but I think they had 2 weeks preparation. So. 400 played 400, so a lot of runs were scored, but I don't believe there was 100 actually, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it was kind of unusual, 800 runs without 100. Certainly from my perspective, that's going to be the big one this year, making sure I convert my starts into the bigger scores in the Enterprise.
Do you feel the Knights are a better place this year? I know they had a lot of injuries. Go on. They had a lot of injuries last year, so do you feel they're more prepared now to make a challenge to the likes of Leinster, who have dominated the interprovincial scene?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Losing Nathan Smith's going to be a big one. Yeah. Bowling wise, how we replace the depth that he brings to a squad. Even though he was injured last year, we didn't see a heck of a lot of him. But his presence was missed when he wasn't there. So yeah, certainly need to find some overs there and some good quality overs as well. So I'm not sure exactly what that's going to look like at the moment. We don't have a lot of guys bowling at training. Getz is back from his tour with Ireland, so it's good to have him there. Nikolai Smith is slowly coming back from injury, so be good to have him fully fit again. He with the red ball in particular, he can do a really good job. So he'll be there and thereabouts. And Rob McKinney's doing the same. He's had a couple of quick spells in the nets, which was always good to see. So hopefully the likes of those guys can stay on the park and find a rhythm, and we can put opposition opening batters under a little bit more pressure than we were able to exert last year.
Yeah. When I first met you last season, I didn't realise that you were a captain of New Zealand's under-19s. I suppose maybe that's bad on my part. When I was interviewing you, I didn't know information about you, but how did you find that experience? That must have been unbelievable.
It was really cool, mate. Yeah, it was absolutely like a dream, going to a World Cup. You had Cricinfo running interviews, and even at that age, I was 19, but I'm a bit of a cricket nuffy, so anything that Cricinfo covers and an international age group event is big. So it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. But once again, I guess the tale of the tape is that I wasn't able to put in any performances of note, so it's kind of a missed opportunity, I guess. But I just, while I wasn't able to capitalise on anything, immediately it certainly stood me in good stead when when it came to pushing for higher honours back here again, having that experience. It was certainly difficult from a different pitches perspective and the quality of the opposition you faced. A lot of quality spinners who bowled in a different way to the way the spinners bowled back home. So really good learning experience, and played with some good players, played against some good players. So it was awesome, mate.
What's the pressure like at that sort of tournament? Especially when you as captain at 19, is it a massive amount of pressure?
I guess when you're going badly, you feel the pressure, and we lost our 2 plate games, 2 of our 3 plate games. One to Pakistan, who were a very good team, who actually went on to win it, and then the other to Bangladesh, who had at that point in time, they already had like a couple of test players. So and I think 5 guys who went on to play internationals for them. So they had a really strong side. So we were in the plate, and it was the first time we missed out as a nation. First time we missed out on the championship rounds. So that was a bit embarrassing, especially fronting the press conference. But nothing more embarrassing actually than fronting the press conference when we lost to Nepal in the plate final. That was a really tough.
That's a low moment, is it?
Absolutely was. But that's as they say, you've got to learn from it, and hopefully you're in that position next time. You maybe handle things a little bit differently. So I guess that's the thing, just trying to put those lessons into practice.
Does it affect your confidence as a young man whenever that sort of thing happens?
Absolutely. Like even going home and playing club cricket, you cop quite a bit of stick, from opposition players about.
You'd sledge with that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, ultimately their job's to put you under pressure in any way possible. So you get a little bit of that. It does, absolutely. It affects your confidence, but I guess the best players have shown that resilience is really important with their with the best players in the world and the way their careers have panned out. So you've just got to keep coming back, right? And hopefully go Harry.
Oh,
yes, Harry, you finally scored. Oh, what a man. What a man. I definitely turned for him. He's some bloke. We just have to watch this replay and savour the moment. The keeper could have done better, I thought.
So he plays for Crystal Palace?
Is that Hennessy?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that right? Yeah, that's why he's benched this year.
That might happen on Saturday whenever you play them. Oh, well, after the international break, I guess.
That's it.
Did it take you long to find that confidence come back?
I think actually it got to the point where I'd realised I was trying too hard, and I went back into club cricket and just said, bugger this. I'm just going to have a bit of fun here, and so.
Did you just decide you didn't want to be a pro or anything anymore?
Oh, sorry, I didn't. I definitely never gave up the dream on playing professional cricket for sure. More in terms of my intensity at the crease instead of being so analytical and so concerned about.
Up and take it. Oh, he has.
Yeah, so concerned about the outcome. I just thought, I'm just going to try and trust myself a bit here, and I just started walking down the pitch and taking on the seamers, because the seamers we're playing against in club cricket in Dunedin, Musa. We're a lot slower than you might get in other parts of the country, so you're able to, I guess, create your own pace by using your feet coming down the wicket. So
yeah,
I guess I developed a whole new style after that. I just sort of learned that that it's it's counterproductive when you're basically paralysing yourself with too much analysis. So I just had to relax a bit more, and I guess that was always something I've had to work on is overthinking, mate. Thinking far too much, and just trusting your training's done the job for you, and go out there and enjoy your innings.
Are you much better at that now?
Yeah, I guess it just comes with being older.
You just realise it's not as important or something?
Well, I think having kids puts
things
into perspective. It's certainly not do or die like it once was. And then even having given up the game because I stopped playing for a season back home. And that's when I really felt as though my dreams of playing higher honours were all over.
That's us.
So it wasn't great. I always thought I had more to give, and was really disappointed that I hadn't really made the most of my natural abilities. So this was a second chance, I guess, coming over here, and I guess it's been a matter of working out, what it is I do well. Oh, Derby.
Yeah, third time. There's no rules in this one.
Is that right?
So there's no offsides, and any foul isn't the foul.
Right. Okay. I guess it just meant that when it came time to take this opportunity, I just wanted to make the most of it. You're a little bit more desperate, I guess, to make it work, but certainly wiser for all the experiences you've had in the past.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've took all them lessons into, like you just develop these lessons over time and make you a better player?
Yeah, I think so. I guess you have the option, right? You can either learn.
What is the option?
You can learn from them and hang in there in the game, and so many players who you think are good players end up leaving the game when you think they've still got a lot more to offer. So I guess for me, I want to play for as long as I can. I know there's only a limited window for that, so fitness is a big one for me. Trying to keep my body in as good a shape as possible so that I give myself the best chance of playing until I'm 40, playing as high level as I can.
Yeah, is it a dream?
Well, it's just as long as I can, really. I wouldn't want to put like a number on it necessarily, but my aim's absolutely, I want to play Test cricket, so I know to do that I've got to score a heck of a lot of runs in the provincials, and I know I'm going to have to keep my body in shape to, be able to do that for the next 3, 4, 5 years. So.
Square slide tackle, by the way, if you want to get me, because it's not even a penalty. I say it's not even a penalty.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a lot different to Xbox.
Yeah, and reading your blogs as well, it seemed that a trip to Adelaide, that was really a big moment in your life.
It really was, yeah, because at that point I failed to play first class cricket. I'd lost a lot of confidence in my game, and especially playing provincial second 11 back home. I'd had a tough season, and with the
and you lose life almost.
I guess it was really. Had a good conversation with Mike Shrimpton, and who was a great advisor to have.
I thought that was him something.
And a friend who was already over there playing. Took on their advice, never. Oh, that was a handball, wasn't it?
No rules.
Oh, Harry.
I thought about
Was it Harry? It was the yarn.
For Tongan.
Yeah, I mean, it was never an option really. I never thought I would ever go anywhere else other than New Zealand to play. So, yeah, I mean, and as it turned out, I mean, I was well outside my comfort zone on a number of occasions, and
that's good though, isn't it? Sometimes.
Well, that's it. Like obviously, it's not enjoyable at the time.
Yeah, but you look back on it.
Yeah, but you learn so much from those situations, right? So, and thankfully, I didn't have an enjoyable season, and unfortunately, I still haven't actually been back to Adelaide. So,
is something you want to go back?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I made some really good friends over that summer, and it's just a beautiful city as well. So certainly, at some point in the not too distant future, I hope to get back there.
At that age?
No. So I was hiding in the middle order then. I was I didn't back my ability to face a swinging ball. So as I said, was hiding down at 5, which actually cost me because we got off to quite slow and conservative starts. So I was coming in from sort of 30 plus overs, which I was never used to doing. So and I didn't handle it very well. So go Harry. Oh, what a strike!
I forgot there was no rules again.
Oh,
I could have brought him down early and I didn't even think to do it.
What's with that short? He's got a really short haircut there. He needs to get it slicked back a bit more. So we had Todd Astle, we had Kieran Noima-Barnett, who played at Civil before me.
CSNI too,
we had Renil Hera, who's bowls left arm spin, played a few games for New Zealand, mainly T20s. We had a really good team. Hamish Bennett, who's open bowling for New Zealand, he's got Virat Kohli out a few times.
Oh really?
Good level of first class cricket. So yeah, we did have a really good team, but I guess our preparation wasn't great. We weren't prepared to play in those conditions, and ultimately just didn't get it right when it mattered. So but I think New Zealand cricket learned a lot from that because
from your group.
Yeah, so certainly other teams have been far better prepared. So that's always a good thing.
Do you play against any world class players now?
Yeah, so I mean there was a number of guys. So I mean we didn't play India, but India had the likes of Pujara, Rohit Sharma, Puyesh Chawla, who's a leg spinner. He's played a lot of IPL and played a little bit for India. Trying to think who else they had. I think Sharma potentially. Ravi Jadeja as well.
Oh really?
Pakistan had this ridiculously good opening bowler. His name was Anwar Ali Khan, and he just swung it around corners. You face
him?
Ridiculously, yeah. I lasted 3 balls against Pakistan. So they had a left arm opening bowler who was very skillful, sort of 130 kph, controlled it beautifully. That's right, I got 2 balls against him and 1 ball against Anwar Ali Khan, who was he was getting guys out for fun, as I said, swinging around corners. I came in, my only batsman at the other end, Sean Fitzgibbon, who played for Cliftonville actually. He
recently?
Was 3, 2010 to 2012, roughly around those years. He said to me, "Yeah, mate, it's swinging a bit," in a very southern, understated way.
Just a bit.
And I didn't read too much into it, and I should have, because what happened was he delivered the ball and it was on about the wide line, and I thought, okay, that's a safe leave, and rose the bat and only just missed off stump. I could not believe what had just happened. I said, mate. And he had a wee giggle to himself. So next over, got down the other end, left armour, as I said, great control, set me up perfectly. So he just bowled one, just pushed it across me, didn't swing. And next ball started off same line, but hooped it back, and I left it and hit me on the pad and was trapped. And we got rolled for 77, which was embarrassing. That was really cool. Seeing the likes of James Cameron.
So debut, cool.
James McCollum debut. Awesome to watch, and I thought the boys gave a pretty good account of themselves.
Especially in away conditions.
Yeah, I guess so. Absolutely, yeah. Foreign conditions. I read that they were disappointed with their first innings efforts, which is probably fair. Good finish. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's all you can hope, that they'll learn and be better. And I know, James McCollum will take a lot from that experience, based on his work ethic and how much he loves it. So
he works really hard, does he? Behind the scenes.
He does. Yeah, I mean, he just loves batting. And that's a good place to be if you're a batsman, right? So yeah, he's certainly very dedicated, and I think he's doing a lot of things as a batsman, sort of outside of the simple fact of hitting balls, which will stand him in really good stead long term. So I'm looking forward to watching him having a long career for Ireland, and hopefully see him opening batting somewhere in that top 5 at Lords. Would be a great experience for him.
When you see people like him, and you're training with people like him, does that push you on further as well? Like, you want to get better because you see how well he's playing, how well he's hitting balls?
I mean, you're absolutely right, it does. I mean, standing at the other end watching him bat in first class cricket is...
Because he performed so well for the Knights last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. You're absolutely right, it is inspirational. You see a bloke like that put in the time he does and handle what you feel is challenging. He handles that relatively comfortably, exactly. So yeah, I mean, he's also just a good guy. We would think about the game, a decent amount, and I look forward to seeing those facials on the replay.
I'll have to add that one out.
So he's a really good guy to chat to, even though
is he like intelligent about cricket?
Yeah, absolutely. Like he thinks about the game a lot, but he doesn't overthink it, from what I'm aware of. So no, as I said, I mean, he's got an exciting career ahead of him. So
sure.
Look forward to following it. So what have we got there? Was that 2-1? Was it?
Yeah, I think that was 2-1. Yeah. We'll play one more. Oh, trophy earned.
What for?
I don't know. I don't know what that means. I suppose last year you also developed quite a big partnership with Andre Milan. How important was he to what you were doing last season too?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. He was massive. I mean, if you just took him as a bowler alone and didn't even factor in his runs, the impact he had was substantial, and I just think he's got such a professional attitude as well. So I think that really helps too, especially around some younger players in the team.
Yeah.
I certainly take my career pretty seriously, so we got on pretty well from that perspective. We like to look after ourselves off the pitch, and so it's just good to have someone to chat to about that, because you can take some relatively unpopular choices at certain times in regards to not drinking or stretching after the game or whatever it might be. So it is good to have someone else there who appreciates those little things and is shares the same kind of values as you. So it was cool from a personal perspective, but the impact on the club was massive. As I said, like his wickets, the way he bowled, his control, swinging the ball both ways at will, basically. He got some big wickets for us last year, as did Crum when he played for us too. Got the ball to swing, and then you factor in Andre's runs, and I think he averaged nearly 60 in the league, which is really impressive.
I'm pretty sure every time I watched him he hit 50.
Is that right? Well,
literally every single time. I'm pretty sure.
Make sure you get a few more games this year then.
I can't think of a time he didn't get at least 50. Oh, actually, maybe in the quarter-final against Ince, he only got 36. Only 36.
Yeah.
The day Gary played as well.
Yep.
Well, 36 was enough, wasn't it, I guess, in the end?
Yeah, I mean, and then it was Grum's bowling, actually.
Yeah.
He took 3 for, I think it was.
Yeah. 3 important ones too at the start, didn't he?
They were.
Andre got a couple as well at the start, I think, too.
Did. Yep. I mean, that was a lethal combination. You got 2 guys who can swing the ball. And on Andre's pace, club cricket is.
Will he be one quicker in the league?
He'd probably be up there. He'd probably be up there on his day, absolutely. But I think regardless of his pace, its ability to move the ball at a decent clip, which separates him from.
It's the movement that does you.
That's it, absolutely, yeah.
So I suppose it's massive that he's coming back this year for you.
Yeah, it is. It's really exciting. So he'll be back in about a month's time, I think. So yeah, it'd be great to have him back around the boys and yeah, just to chat to about life. He's quite philosophical, so he's a good guy to have around.
You both seem to think that in.
That's a goal. That's some goal.
You both seem to think about the game a lot. Like you think deeply about it. It's not just turn up, play, and go home. Like you think a lot about your performances and a lot about the game itself.
Yeah, well, Andre, for his age, is a serious professional. Yeah, he really looks after his body, and with stretching, with the way he, the effort he puts into his gym program, and so yeah, it's really refreshing to have around the group. And as I said, hopefully it's sending the right messages to the younger guys in our group. Just if you do want to make it to a relatively high level,
it's like a blueprint what to do.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing. He's as professional as he is, and he's still yet to achieve a few of his goals. So it just goes to show at that top level, you've got to take sort of every opportunity you get, and if that's with your preparation, to give yourself the best chance, then hopefully that gives you a better chance of achieving whatever it is you set out to do in the game.
Did he take the bit of pressure off you as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you get out early, number 3 coming in is Andre.
Yeah. I guess you never sort of think like if I get out early, it's okay. But you try and go about your innings and implement.
Safety go.
Implement your game plan as best you can. But it's more the rhythm that he can bring to a partnership, which is so good. He's going to put away the bad ball.
He scores quickly.
He does. But he's also really good at rotating the strike, and that obviously means that you're getting access to the bowling, as much as
you're getting your eye in as well.
That's it, and that's crucial, So just really enjoyed the partnerships we had last year, and hopefully there's a few more to come this year.
You've a really young, promising team too. Likes of Arnie, likes of Archie, Matty Foster.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's only going to get better, especially with Gary coming back in too.
Yeah, you'd hope so. You'd hope we could keep improving. That's certainly the challenge. Maybe a clearance would have been better there. Good, Hugo. So yeah, that's the aim, to keep improving, and you're naturally going to see those guys mature, and the likes of Arnie. I know he'd certainly be keen to push on from. He got a lot of starts last year.
Yeah.
Make those 70s, 80 plus match winning performances. Morgan showed just how good a player he is. So I think especially he got a 60 not out against North Down at the end of the season in the league, which won us the game, which was brilliant. Oh, good strike.
He's the one who really progressed last season.
Yeah.
Because you can see even with batting, he was getting so much better as the season went on. Right, maybe it's just a confidence thing as well.
Absolutely right. Yeah, confidence is crucial. So
yeah, especially when you're that young in the Premier League.
That's it. And then the likes of Arch. He's still very young, so you'd hope in time he keeps developing, and you'd expect him to.
Yeah.
And,
he's getting some experience already. 16 opening the batting.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Matty Foster. It's been great, the opportunities he's had. So he's at Cardiff Uni.
He's in South Africa, wasn't
he? Yeah, just recently, obviously. Yeah, just over in South Africa, playing against some first class teams. So that's going to stand him in good stead. Just even the training he's doing over there is going to set him up nicely for the season. So once his commitments have, once he's completed his commitments with them, hopefully he comes back to us with some rhythm, and you look at that best case scenario bowling attack of Andre, Grum and Matty Foster, and you think there's some depth there. So
yeah, 100%.
Hopefully we can continue to put the best teams under pressure with that bowling attack, and then I guess the only other thing we need to add to that is just some more consistency for some better league performances.
Yeah. Oh. Do you set targets for yourself for next season already? Personally and for the team?
Yeah, I definitely want to win a trophy, so nice skills, bro. So
sticking up for the best.
So however that comes, whether it's a league, whether it's a cup or whatever, T20 or whatever. I mean, it'd be great to experience some success. So, good save, Hugo. So yeah, certainly that from a team perspective, win a trophy. We've certainly got the team, particularly in cup matches, to give it a good shake. So as we showed last year, we weren't far away from winning one. So yeah, we should be there and thereabouts in all the cups in particular, and hopefully give the league a good shake. And I guess personally, yeah, I mean it's trying to be better than last season. So as I said before, once I got a start, I was happy with going on and making a match winning contribution, but I'd like to be doing that more than I was last season. So that's certainly the aim.
Was that Challenge Cup innings your favourite of the season? Oh, that's tiki-taka football there. What your Challenge Cup innings your favourite one?
Yeah,
I know you lost. I
guess it was.
Does that affect it that you lost? Does that affect your favouritism?
I mean, I guess when I look at it in terms of what I can control from a batting perspective, I think I did almost all I could. I mean, absolutely, I could have scored quicker. We needed another 30 runs, so if I had a number of dots through the middle overs, so if I was more efficient at rotating the strike through there, we could have made more. So those are the types of things you take into the off season, and try and improve. Certainly from an inter-pro perspective, that's one thing, part of my game I'm going to have to improve on, rotating the strike through the middle, so that you can keep the scoreboard ticking over without having to take any risks. From a pure sort of execution perspective, there's no doubt that was a really enjoyable innings to play. But yeah, I guess the beauty is that you can always do better, right? So
for sure.
As well as I feel I played, there's things I could have done better. So as I said, hopefully take that on board and play even better, more meaningful innings this season.
Call it there then, will we?
Yeah, sounds good.
Nice one.
Enough fighting.
We're not counting, but I think it was 4-0 there. We're not counting, I don't think. So just want to thank you very much for coming on. You're the first guest in the Johnny Mo Show, and we'll be back next week with episode 2.